Okay, guys, I'm sorry I can't be there this evening. I'm really not feeling up to um, staying up through the night because I've been off work today sick, and so I need to get some rest and recover. But if I was there, this is the presentation I would have gone through with you. So, yes. Um, so I, along with Paula, were looking at engagement. And we decided in our conversation the other day to look at it from two different points of view. And I'm kind of going to be looking at it from what does it mean for people to engage with art as an audience, as an artist, and how they allow people to engage with the art itself, as a critic, as a curator, and as a consumer of art. Touching on some of these more than others, but this is kind of the people who do engage with art, I think. I believe Paul is going to look more at how artists themselves engage with their own art. So I was going to briefly talk about kind of people who broke the molds and tried to find ways for art to actually become engaging. People like this guy, Alan Caprow, who were really pushing the boundaries and pulling away from the idea of a gallery space and art being something that people look at from a distance, and finding new ways for art to be engaging and to be an experience in itself, and finding ways for art to step out of the canvas or out of the off the plinth and become an active, participatory, engaging enterprise. Isn't the right word, but an opportunity for people to get something out of it in a more holistic way, a more engaging way, I suppose. So then I wanted to talk briefly about why do people engage with other people's art. I was drawn to these really interesting images here of people actually, again, being really involved with the art. I definitely think that there are very interesting things happening nowadays in terms of what people get out of art, and it's really broadening and opening from avenues and opportunities like digital media and things being available in your hand, and art opportunities being there that we don't even realize is art sometimes, through to like the Carsten Holler piece here that you can see in London, with the kind of the sliding down the slides and being involved with something even there in a gallery space. It's very interesting to me about these gallery spaces and how they're changing and becoming different, through to things like public art and people getting involved. And it's interesting how people are involved and don't even necessarily realize or recognize, through to things like the Anthony Gormley work, where I know the area because I'm from near Liverpool, and so it's really fascinating to me, kind of art taking people by surprise and engaging people in their daily life and not even recognizing or realizing until maybe they walk away that they were ever engaged with art, because it was just an experience they had out when they were walking along the front, or they were out and about. Through to other opportunities where people are kind of breaking the boundaries and breaking the lines, and offering new interpretations or new experiences. Also, it's interesting how spaces are becoming very differently used. This is an image of the former Central Police Station and prison block in Hong Kong, which has been converted and changed into gallery spaces up here and exhibition spaces inside. And it's a really interesting space that has been kind of reinvented and reused, a space that was, and you can still see the places where people were held and where people, there's an interesting exhibition at the moment in the main fine art gallery, which is some installation work and some video which is kind of looking at the concept of confinement and the concept of being held and kept in captivity, and what the purposes were and what the experiences were like for people in there. And so it's kind of this site-specific, all-encompassing experience, which is, they also have different gallery spaces for lots of contemporary art and different things happening, but it's really fascinating to me that this engagement, this space, this place, is using the fact of what it was, even down to the architecture and the structure, and also there's a very palpable sense of the people who lived there and who were confined there, and the rehabilitation or punishment or whatever the purpose was in the days when it was running as a kind of a prison complex and a police barracks. And it's really fascinating to me that this kind of level engagement and these different things that are happening are new and interesting ways that people are allowing themselves to be engaged in art. I was going to talk a little bit about why do artists want people to engage with their art. That's something I've struggled with myself, but this is a really fascinating image, which I'm sure you guys all are familiar with. The artist is present, and it's really fascinating to me just the expressions on the artist and on the participator or the viewer. I don't think he's a viewer because he's there. He is the art at that point. And so the engagement there is all about the artist wanting to make a connection. And I think that is often the point of artists who want to get their work seen by the people, because they want to make a connection through their work. They want to have something passed on that they've found enlightening or they've discovered, or something that's caught their attention. And even down to the fact of having attention and being purposely paused in a moment. I think that's what this is about. And the artist, being there and experiencing it with the person, just experiencing that moment. But I think that is often for a lot of people, it's the reason that artists want to have that engagement. It's to pass something on. They want the viewer or the critic or whoever it is that sees the art to get something out of the engagement, to get a message across or something. Obstacles to engagement. You can see here at the Louvre this incredibly long line. And the kind of institutions like the Louvre with the barriers, and you can't touch, you can't get close, and are very interesting to me. And they do create obstacles, I think, to the experience. And one of the reasons is, for me, because it becomes institutionalized, and it becomes difficult for people to engage with this. Even the terminology becomes inaccessible sometimes. And I don't know what this lady is saying, but I'm going to pretend I know that she's saying, using very big vocabulary to express incredibly complex themes, and the people are there to learn about art and be educated. And sometimes that is a barrier in itself. These kind of institutions and this kind of academic instruction in art, this art history context, and it creates its own obstacles, I think, because what it does is creates a them and us, the educated, the people who teach us about art, and then the art itself, and then us people here who don't really know anything about it and never will. And it's interesting to me and exciting that there are more and more things opening up, and more opportunities and spaces and places and accidental art experiences that people are engaging with. And so, yeah. That's what I was going to talk about in terms of engagement. I'm sorry I can't be there. Good luck, God bless. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.